guys, this is Uppercut John with video 3, and this time we're doing kickboxing, and we're also going to be doing forms. Now with the kickboxing, we're just going to break down the 4 basic punches, and we're going to talk about the hip rotation, how you rotate your feet into those punches. And on the forms, we're going to go into the basic stances as well as the basic blocks. So with kickboxing, we want to make sure that we are in a more of a squared up stance. My toes are forward, my knees are bent, and I'm up on the balls of my feet so I can move quickly. If my feet are flat, I'm not going to be able to move. The hands are going to be up by the face here. Now I like to keep them right around chin level, but if I do this, I drop my chin and I lift my shoulders, my hands get a little bit higher. I don't really have to hold my hands too high if I can drop my head and lift my shoulders up. Plus that adds a little bit more protection to my chin. As you can see on the side, I get down nice and low. My chin is kind of tucked inside of my arms, and it's going to be a lot harder for something to sneak in and hit me. Plus the head is forward and I can most likely get punched in the forehead, which is about the thickest part of your skull anyways. So, on the jab, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking my front hand, punching straight out as I step forward. And what I'm doing is I'm throwing my left shoulder into it as well to get a couple inches of extension as well as adding power. And you notice that front foot took a step. Jab. From the jab, I'm going to take my backhand, push it forward as I rotate the bottom foot, and you're really turning the hips into it as well. As you can see, I'm like squishing the bug right under that one foot, the back foot there. And again, the hand is up and the chin is down. From here, I'm going to rotate and I'm going to transfer the weight from the left leg to the right. That's if your left leg is in front. And I'm going to throw that hook punch. Now the hook punch is really going to be coming from the jaw. I'm going to bring that hand out, twist the arm as I twist the body. And all that power is going to come from the body. It's not going to come from you extending your punch. So I hit here and just extend a few inches past and then bring it back. The uppercut, you're going to be bending the knees. I'm going to be twisting and standing up. A lot of people tend to bring their knees down, drop their arm and punch, but again, you're exposing yourself to any sort of punch or anything that's going to be hitting you on the side of the face. So try to keep your hand up by your face as long as you can. So I'm here, boom, throw that uppercut into the pad. So again, step, I'm twisting my body, putting my shoulder into it. Cross, I'm turning my shoulder as well, squishing the bug. Hook, squishing the bug as well, transferring the weight, keeping the chin down. Bend the knees, twist, and uppercut again, squishing the bug under that back foot. Chin stays down. And all right, guys, so with the front stance. With the front stance, I'm going to start about 2 shoulder widths apart, width-wise, and I'm also going to take my foot, draw a straight line about 2 shoulder widths in front. Now when I am in my front stance, I'm going to make sure that my front knee is bent directly over my ankle, and I'm going to make sure that my back leg is straight. Now as you can notice, the toes are forward, and so is my body. Everything's going to be forward. My belly button is pointing forward, my shoulders are squared up, they're in a line, and I'm making sure that my posture is good as well. So on your front stance, it should look like this. If you look from the side, it should be here. Again, back leg straight, front knee is bent over the toes, good posture, shoulders in a line. If we're going to a back stance, we're going to start with our feet together. Actually, let's try here. I'll start with the feet together, and I'm going to make an L with my feet. From here, I'm going to draw a straight line out with my right leg, and I'm going to have a slight bend in my front knee. I don't want to lock the leg out. I'm going to put about 60% on the front leg, on the back leg, and about 40% of my weight on the front leg. And it looks like this. And again, this one you don't have to be squared. You can be turned to the side. It's more like a Taekwondo style guarding stance. And here the back leg is bent. From on the other side, from this angle, you can see again, front knee is slightly bent, back leg is straight. Still good posture. You're not leaning over like crazy. You're standing tall. And that is your back stance. Horse stance, your heels are going to be in a line again, but this time they're going to be pointed the same direction. My toes are going to be forward. Now on a horse stance, you want to think about, if you can notice my feet here, about 3.5 of your own feet distance apart. So take 1, rotate 2, rotate 3. Now from where my toes are, about a half distance of my foot. And from here, I'm going to bend the knees, and I'm going to open up the hips and sit down. Now I'm trying to I try not to get my knees to go past my toes. So what I do is I push my butt back a little bit, and then stand up tall. And then again, trying to keep as good posture as you can. And the knees should be right over the ankles as well, or right over the feet. And again, try not to let your knees buckle in. You want to really pull them out. Toes forward, knees out. And that's the horse stance. If you want to see from the side, it's about here. So toes forward, knees out. Try to keep good posture. A lot of people tend to lean over too far. Just try to keep as good posture as you can. Now, the lower you get, the harder it's going to be to get good posture, though. All right, fantastic. Now on the blocks. So our upper block is going to start like this. Now we always have a starting position and an ending position. Our starting position is going to be called a chamber. What I'm going to do if I block with my left hand, or right from your perspective, I'm going to take my left to reach under, and I'm going to take my other hand and put it on top. And you notice my palms are facing each other. From here, the top hand is going to drop down to the belt, as the upper hand, or the one that's about to block, comes up above my head. And notice the last thing that's moving, boom, is the wrist. You don't want to move the wrist right away and then block. The last thing that moves is the wrist, and it snaps into position. Also notice on the upper block, it's not directly above my head. It's in front of my head and also at a slight angle, so anything that hits it just glances right off. So tight fist, above my head, slight angle, and then you switch just by reaching under and blocking again. And then notice the last thing that moves is that wrist. It snaps into position like the end of a whip. Let's go to the down block. Down block, again, there's always the starting position and ending position. Starting position is called that chamber. I take the left hand, reach up by the face, reach onto the right side of the face, palm in. The other hand is going to stay out, just palm down. From here again, the hand that's in front pulls, pulls back as the other hand pushes out to block down in front of you. And again, snapping that wrist in at the last second. Now here, I don't want to be blocking too far out to the side. I want to imagine that if I was like in a front stance, I'm blocking right about in front of that leg. And that's going to be about enough to get me a good strong block here. So from here again, reaching the other hand up to the face, the one that wasn't blocking, and switch. Again, the wrist snaps into position at the last second. Let's go to the outside blocks. Outside blocks. From a ready position, you're taking, again, your left hand, you're going to reach down to your belt, and this time it's going to be palm down. The other hand, the right hand, just like before, goes up to the shoulder, but it's palm down as well. Now instead of palm up, palm down, just like the upper block, they're both palm down. From here, I'm going to pull the top hand down to the belt as the other hand sweeps across the inside of the body. And then we're blocking to the outside and then snapping that wrist in again at the last second. I don't want to be blocking too far to the outside. You're going to be stronger when you're in close. So try to keep your elbow fairly close to your shoulder. So again, you're here, chamber, and then block. Reach under, chamber, and then block. And again, I'm trying to keep that elbow fairly close to the shoulder so I don't reach out too far. Let's go to the inside block. The inside block, this is going to be our last one. For the inside block, I'm going to take one arm up to the side, almost like I was doing an upper block. And from here, the other hand is just going to reach out in front of me. And that's so I can get a good push and pull motion. What I'm going to do here is pull again, this elbow. Now imagine that you almost have like a string attached to your elbow and to your fist. As I pull that in, they move together. And I'm going to pull, as I pull the left hand side, the right elbow moves in. And then you just block in, boom, 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 psh, and then snap into position. The last thing that moves is going to be the wrist. And also notice the angle of the arm. Just like on the outside defense, your arm shouldn't be bent in this way. It should be 90 degrees. Say your elbow is 90 degrees straight up and down, and then you just drop your fist down to about nose level. And that is where you want to see that. So again, inside block, boom. Block it in nice and tight. You're trying to cover the inside of your body. Don't block here because it's an inside block. You're leaving yourself open. You got to cross center line. And now how do I switch hands? Well, this hand, the one that's blocking, turns out. The other hand goes up nice and high, just like you did that upper block. And then just like before, pull it in and snap it into position. Again, right on the inside of the body, about a 90-degree angle, but again, your fist is about nose to eye level. And that's your blocks of the day.